Erik Ten Hag is abroad, nothing like what he was at Ajax. Maybe the transfers aren't good enough, or it's just bad luck. But luckily I'm here to give him a push in the right direction. Sunderland actually bought players that Ten Hag could have signed as well. So it seems like the perfect match to me. And now that he had full freedom, only Dutch transfers will be made with the goal of winning the Champions League. Ten Hag has learned from his mistakes, and that is why he will discuss changing the formation at a later stage. With Brobbey, Traoré and Geertruida, he has 3 new players who are familiar with the 4-3-3 system. And the team looks strong, players approaching an 80 overall. But to win the Champions League, we need a few transfers. And 38.8 million isn't enough by English standards. We need to invest in the Dutch Youth Academy. And look at Oscar Hammond. This is a scout who can bring us a lot of talent. I don't know what the current scout has been doing, but it has not been great. Luckily is Hammond not on his own, and in this way they can defy the north and the south of the Netherlands. Thankfully Ten Hag is now free to choose his own coaching staff, and together they have decided to look for a new goalkeeper. None other than Bart Verbruggen came into consideration, but Ten Hag still need to sharpen his transfer abilities. But we also need a second keeper, and Owusu-Oduro looks like the perfect match. Luckily Ten Hag picked up on his mistakes fast, which led to Owusu-Oduro joining. At least that's what we thought. Things went wrong during the salary negotiations. But Brighton came in fast with a new offer. And luckily for Ten Hag, this was a success. Bart Verbruggen is now the keeper of Sunderland. And now Ten Hag has really found his rhythm. He has FaceTiming with a scout to watch footage of the youth players. And there was Van Waken with a powerful shot. Custer also stood out because I read the game well. And the biggest talent is the freeze, but there are a few points he needs to develop. But there is plenty of time left, that's why Ten Hag loaned a few players out. Just as we were about to begin the season, the scout called for Dijkstra. Dijkstra is a player who finds the back of the net very easily. They already said this is a bigger talent than the freeze, because you can also rely on him to win a duel. And on the ball, he creates a lot of danger. He is going to give us plenty of enjoyment. In this way, Dijkstra ended up being the only academy player not sent on loan. We are at the end of the season, and we just escaped a disaster. There are only 2 teams who conceded more goals. How is that even possible with 5 men in the back? But look at Dijkstra. He scored 10 goals and growth with a +9. The only player who scored more goals is Brobbey, but I don't really know if that's a good sign. Next season we can play with 4 in the back, because we will concede goals anyway. Season 2. And we're gonna play with a 4-3-3 system. That means a starting spot for Dijkstra. But look at you. We really need to look for a better left back. And that's how we ended up targeting Joral Hado. This season we promoted 3 youth players to loan them out, but we ended up in a disaster. We just left with 8 euros, while we need to renew a few contracts. And we did not even hire new staff members. The new arrivals are generating huge sums. Further departures will be necessary. Otherwise the club won't be able to retain enough players. But now we need to focus on the game against Manchester United. Now we see Dijkstra with a challenge. He finds Brobbey in the middle, and Brobbey scores the opening goal. And just like that, the young talent already has an assist to his name. But unfortunately, Manchester United managed to equalize in the 59th minute. And that's how the match ended, all square. After the match, we sold a few players to cover the cost of extending key contracts. And now that we have enough money to add staff members, we fast forward to the end of the season. And now we're at the end of the season. And this season, okay, it's a bit better than last season. Brobbey and Dijkstra carried the team with 14 and 11 goals. And now we hope that the loaned out players have developed well. We are at the beginning of season 3 and we're starting with 41.7 million. But after renewing all the contracts, we ended up with 26.6 million. But Adingra will give us another 20 million, but we still need to find a substitute for him. But we didn't need to search for long, because the only player who fit the budget was Sam Stein. And now that we sold players who weren't part of the plans, once more we strike a deal with Feyenoord and signed Quinten Timber. And since this season is all about development, everyone gets a development plan. And now we simulate to the end of the season. Whoa, this season we ended on the 5th place. And the number of goals conceded has dropped significantly. And that's a good sign for Verbruggen. He growed with a +5. And after Brobbey and Dijkstra, there is also Van den Berg. I did expect a few more goals from Stein, but of course, this is a different level. We can think about a few more substitutions. And because of the good placement from the last season, we're starting this season with 120 million. And with this money, we need to look for a substitute for our captain. So we bought Joey Veerman. After a long wait, he finally got his transfer. And this was a really good deal. We still have 76 million left. So with Sven Botman, we brought in the next superstar. And because we still got money left, we switched our right back for Jordan These. So this is the first time that we got a fully Dutch starting 11. And to finish things off, we added a second Dutch striker. And now it's time to simulate to the end of the season. Oei. This season we did not finish in the 5th place, but we ended up in the 11th place. I need to say that the team is growing well. We already have 3 players with a 90 plus overall. And this time it was Robbie, Timber and Veerman who scored the goals. I'm still a bit disappointed with the signing of Sam Stein. We also lost the FA Cup final, but we did win the Conference League. The faith in Ten Hag is definitely growing, so let's go to Season 5. And this season we want to qualify for the Champions League. And to achieve that, we need to further develop the squad. And look who we have come across. It's Sven Simon. I think the top clubs are sleeping on this, but I just can't afford this market value of 138 million right now. So I need to make sure that I raise 80 million as quick as possible. And if it means that I have to sell Dijkstra, then I will just do it. Because this transfer brought us 92.7 million. And thanks to quick action, we managed to sign the biggest Dutch talent. With this signing, I'm counting on a surprise run in the Premier League. Because he scored goal after goal after goal. And that's how Sunderland even won the Premier League. Okay, it was only by a 2 goals difference, but we take it. And of course, Simon was the perfect transfer, because he scored 34 goals. Unfortunately, we did lose the Carabao Cup. And in the UEFA Cup semi-finals, we lost to Aston Villa. Still, I think with these developments, we definitely stand a good chance in the Champions League. Season 6. And the money from the Premier League title is in. We're starting this season with 181 million. And there is only one player missing in the Erik Ten Hag empire. And both of them were up for this experience. After saying goodbye to Joey Veerman, we also went in with Xavi Simons. He had to play in the left wing because there are too many good players in this selection. So we say welcome to a new attack trainer. And now it's time for our first season in the Champions League. What happened here? This monster team finished in 2nd place. We also lost the Community Shield final. We didn't win the FA Cup and it looks like we only won the Carabao Cup. Because in the Champions League, we lost in the early stage. How is this possible in a season where Simon scored 27 goals and became the top scorer? And Simons also scored 24 goals. We need to go back to the drawing board and apparently look for reinforcements. So after Frankie de Jong, there was also a reunion with Matthijs de Ligt. And so we placed Geertruida on the right back spot, so we can play de Ligt and Botman on the center backs. And that's how we got ready for this new season. We are right now at the end of the season, and also this season we ended on the 2nd place, despite having the top scorers on our side. But fortunately we can still make something of this season. We won against Villarreal. We were also too strong for Leverkusen. And we won against Bayern München in the semi-final. And that means on May the 31, we get to face Juventus. And early on, none other than Simon was played through and he managed to score. And that's how we made it 1-0 from close range. And look at Matthijs de Ligt. He's defending like a beast. And just before the whistle, Quinten Timber missed this chance. But still Sunderland goes into halftime with a lead. Simon with a long shot, but he hits it wide. And in the next moment, he gets blocked. But after 93 minutes, it's done. And so Sunderland wins the Champions League. So thanks to the club's trust, Erik Ten Hag still managed to succeed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell.